Hello class, I'm back here for the final video blog of the Technology Applications course. And so for this module we were talking about ethics, and so one of the things that I found in doing this ethics course is a lot relates to social media, and even in our personal experience discussion, a lot of the students in the course brought up some form of social media in their discussion topics. And so the article that I decided to go with for this video blog, it's called Adapting a Social Media Strategy in the Classroom, and the acronym is PEET. And so basically what this article goes on to talk about is a group of nursing students, and it didn't say the higher ed institution, but a group of nursing students had received an award to go to a national conference for a week. And so the teachers had to find out, of course, nursing, and one of the things that I've learned being at Tusculum is how important all of the curriculum is in nursing, especially to make sure that the nurses are up to date on everything, making sure that they can pass their exams, because that is the killer of the accreditation. And so the teachers or the faculty were very concerned on how they were going to keep how the students were going to be able to go to this conference, as it was a huge accomplishment for them, but also keeping up with the coursework. And so they decided to implement a social media tactic such as Twitter. And so basically what they did, they used it 3 different ways. And so one of the ways was to answer different questions. So one of the questions it talks about on here is about healthcare disparity. This is a healthcare disparity theme that I am taking home today is blank. And so the way that they set this up was through a program called PEET. PEET. It stood for Prairie View Entertains Excellent Thoughts. So I'd never heard of that before. Basically what they did is they took the theme of Twitter, where you're only allowed 140 characters. And so one of the issues that they ran into is that some students didn't understand that characters did not mean words; it meant letters. And so I was actually looking this up because I was curious to see. I am not much of a Twitter person. I'm not much of a social media person. But I looked to see exactly how many characters or how would you relate that. And so in the verse John 3:16, there are 101 characters in it. So as you can tell, 140 characters is not a lot. And so these nursing students were asked to give their answers to questions in only 140 characters, and one of them was even asking about what they learned today. And so it would be very hard, especially someone like myself. I am very easy to ramble on, and I could take what I've learned today and run it for 30 minutes. So again, it was very, very interesting that they were able to do that. And so it goes on to also talk about the rubric that they used. And so it said that you received anywhere from a 95 to 100 if their PEET consisted of 140 characters or less and was concise and powerful statement. And it even says in parentheses the wow effect. And so I think that's really neat, because in 140 words to have to give off that wow effect, that's interesting. And so 85% was individuals who were not more than 10 to 15% over the allowed number of characters and showed insight into the concept. The thought pattern was strong or concise. And so and then under that was like the 75 range, where it was 15% or more over the allowed character. So the teachers were very adamant about getting students to talk about what all they've learned. And so it was also really neat that they used that same program to keep those students in class with the ones who, for the nursing students who did not go to the conference and they were still in class. So the classmates could see their answers as they were at the conference. And so they were able to give feedback off each other. The professors were able to give immediate feedback. So again, I found that really neat that teachers were able to implement a social media factor, and when used properly, social media can be a great thing. And actually, one of the things I talked about in my personal experience discussion was that it gives former teachers back in high school, middle school, to keep up with some of their students. And so again, it can be a very useful thing, especially when using these kind of cases. Social media can be a great addition to lessons. So, but anyway, that is my article for today. And so I hope you all have enjoyed it, and I hope to do this again soon.